Welcome to Armstrong High School for an all-Plymouth battle here in boys basketball. Tonight it's the Wayzata Trojans taking on the Armstrong Falcons. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. And Ryan, these teams aren't in the same conference anymore like they were for a long time, but they are both in Section 6. And even though their records don't look very similar, this could be a pretty important one for seeding purposes.
Yeah, well, you got Armstrong 16-5, had a great year, a little sluggish as of late, but still a great overall record. Wayzata on the flip side started 2-12, but now they're 6-2 in their last 8 games, so they're playing better. The key for them is they're starting to get healthy, and they got a lot of talent on the team, so this is going to be a really even matchup tonight.
Yeah, a lot of things went wrong early for the Trojans. Part of it was a real tough schedule. Part of it was definitely injuries. Part of it was some guys coming off the football season. But their coach, Brian Schnettler, said they didn't really panic. They just kind of, got back after it a little bit. And, when you're in a program that's had a lot of success, when things don't go well, sometimes the bottom can fall out, but they don't appear to have let that happen.
Well, I think they always kept their eye on the prize, which is at the end of the year, Jay, how well you're playing going into the playoffs. They knew they were going to get full strength. They knew that those football guys, you come off that winning, which is a great thing. It bleeds over into another sport. It's going to take them time to get their legs, get back in shape, and it's starting to come together. They played Eden Prairie, very tough, #1 ranked team in the state a few weeks back, so they're playing a lot better, and I think their goal all along was, let's get healthy, let's get together, and we'll be playing our best basketball at the end of the year.
Let's talk about key players to look at in today's game, and a couple of really good ones in the backcourt, although one's a little older than the other. Starting with sophomore Camden Heidi for Wayzata. He's definitely an up-and-comer. He's got a lot of Division I offers already.
Well, remember he played as an 8th grader, and you get anyone who plays at Wayzata as an 8th grader has got a lot of talent. He's got great height. He's a great athlete, but he's also got a great jump shot, and they're very nice to have him back because he's 16 points a game. He can give you 10 rebounds if you need it. He's a good defender. He's versatile, so they need him to really step up. They're going to need his scoring as they go down the stretch. I think he's even more capable than 16 points a game, but he's a lot of fun to watch.
And for Armstrong, a guy who's just a winner, whether it's in the fall or the winter, Jake Breitbach.
I love Jake. I love watching him on the football field, just a great quarterback. We got to do their game earlier in the year against Park Center. He just does everything well, right? He's 13 points a game, but he'll give you 5 to 6 assists, 5 to 6 rebounds. He plays good defense. He's just one of those guys you always want on your team. When you go out to the playground and you're picking guys, he's usually the first pick because you want him, knows how to win, great kid, and excited that he's going to have a good game tonight.
Well, we're really into the stretch run. Next weekend's the regular season, so besides just seeding purposes, you really want to get yourself fine-tuned and be on an upswing for the playoffs too.
Well, and both of these teams, like we talked about, want to be playing their best basketball. They love competing against good teams. I think if you ask Coach Bryant or Coach Schnettler, they'll take a loss now or a loss a week ago if it means they're competing against good competition. Everything's about preparing to be your best at the end. So I think both coaches want a good, tight game tonight. It's teachable, and win or lose, obviously seeding it matters, but just get better, get ready to go for next week.
All right, should be an interesting one here tonight. It's the Trojans and the Falcons in just a moment here on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
And we are set for tip-off here. It'll be Heidi going up against a Yahweh, and it's controlled here by Wayzata. So the Trojans get first possession here on the road. Armstrong out in man-to-man defense. Well, Armstrong's been solid defensively, and Coach Brian, who actually coached at Wayzata for a couple of seasons, or for one season 2 years ago as an assistant, said Wayzata is very disciplined the way they run their sets. Heidi was pushed from behind as he tried to go up for that rebound off the missed shot there taken by Eddie Benninga.
Yeah, if you look at Wayzata, Jay, I mean, they're in the 70s, both offensively and giving up points. And Armstrong scores only 64, but they only give up 56. So very good defensively. But Wayzata, they move the ball so well. They cut. They're hard to guard. So it's going to be a good test for Armstrong.
Heidi going to the middle. Missed it. Ben-Hur Solomon grabs the miss there for the Falcons. Peyton Newbern bringing it up court here. Now Zakaya Yahweh out there at the high post looking for Solomon. Pass was a little high, but then back out. Jumper knocked down there by Breitbach as he hits the three, and Armstrong's on the board.
Well, they had the back cut there for a layup. Pass a little high, but a nice recovery. It actually worked out perfectly. Breitbach nails a big three to start the game.
Camden Heidi dropping it off. Here's Drew Berkland knocking down a three for the Trojans. Brian Schnettler said, we want it at a faster pace than Armstrong does. We got to look to get out and run a little bit off of some of their misses, and we definitely want more shots up probably than what Armstrong wants. Here's Breitbach again.
Well, shooters, I'll tell you, when you get that first one to drop, your confidence level goes through the roof. That time, no hesitation at all. He caught it, went right up. He's 2 for 2.
Camden Heidi attacking off the window and good, showing why he's got a lot of Big Ten offers.
That wasn't an easy shot at Yahweh. He was 6'5" and long, contested it nicely, but he got a lot of arc there, able to bank it home.
Wayzata ended Armstrong's season last year in the Section 6 4A semifinals. So it's interesting, not as much of a rivalry probably as it used to be maybe when they were in the same conference, but obviously both based in Plymouth, and a lot of these guys know each other, and they definitely want to win tonight against, kind of a somewhat rival.
Yeah, and you get the feeling too that Armstrong kind of looks as the underdog, right? Wayzata winning a lot of state championships in a lot of different sports. There's a nice job playing the passing lane by Buin.
Oh, but then he fumbles it out of bounds. And a turnover by Bwin. Well, Allie Mosley joining us courtside tonight. They started a little early, so we didn't get to Allie pregame, but let's go to her now.
AJ, Armstrong is currently ranked 8th in the state, but it hasn't come without their challenges in the last 2 games. Last Friday, they lost by 8 points to Spring Lake Park in a low-scoring game. Then yesterday, another low-scoring game, barely eking out a win by just 2 points. So I asked Coach Bryant what's been going on offensively here, and he said, you know what, we kind of hit a wall. It's just that time of the season where the season runs long, and we've just kind of been losing our shots. We need to shoot the ball better. He said that the last 2 games were really wake-up calls for his team. He said that they have to get back to better offense, they have to be more efficient, and they need to get their big three back in the groove. Tonight, he said it's all about getting on Wayzata's shooters, eliminating the three, getting back in transition, and trying to find that offense that was working so well for them in the beginning of the season.
Thanks, Allie. Eddie Benninga knocking one down to give Wayzata the lead at 7-6. Now down low, Yahweh was kind of slow to go up with that one, and Carter Bjerke blocking it. He had a layup if he went up right away. And a steal from behind by Peyton Newbern.
Yeah, great hustle by Newbern, but yeah, you're right. I thought Yahweh had the initial layup, but a little bit slow on getting a shot attempt off.
Breitbach tried to give it to Yahweh, but it was tipped away, and here come the Trojans. Heidi will drop it off. Benninga letting it rip. That one is short. Benninga in the starting lineup tonight because Cody Williams tweaked an ankle in the Trojans win over Minnetonka here on Tuesday night. So Cody not likely to play tonight. He is dressed.
Nothing new for the Wayzata Trojan team. They've dealt with a lot of sprained ankles this season. I'll tell you, spraining an ankle, it seems like a minor injury. It's one of those, they linger. It can be really painful too.
It lasts a long time too. I did that in high school basketball, and this morning woke up and kind of feel that, and it really does linger in many cases the rest of your life. Into Bwin, up in traffic, no good, and Bjerke grabs the rebound there for the Trojans.
And Bjerke doing a great job of kind of patrolling the middle. He's got a couple of blocked shots already and altered a couple of shots as well. He's a big kid.
Berkland drives and then cut off. Here's Benninga. Bjerke's going to fire up that three-pointer, and it is good.
Well, he can do that, 6'8", only a sophomore, big body, but he's got great touch, averaging just under 15 points a game. That's a luxury when you can have your big fella step out like that and have silky smooth touch.
Bwin in traffic, not able to get it to go. Bjerke taps it back out, but it comes to Newbern, and he was held by Birkeland on the drive. And the first foul against Wayzata, and Armstrong only has one as well, so been pretty clean so far here in the early going. Real veteran crew too here, so you expect to see a well-called game.
And we've seen a lot of threes shot too, right? Teams are hanging around the perimeter shooting a lot of threes. You're going to get less foul calls.
Ryan Harvey into the game, number 31 for Wayzata, yet another sophomore. But you think about how many of these guys got a couple more years to go. It's definitely a more experienced Armstrong team than Wayzata. Solomon posting up, but a good job helping there to kind of cut off that passing angle. Newbern attacks, missed it. Solomon the rebound, that's no good. And tip free, and the Trojans control it.
Beautiful drive by Newbern, kind of explosive there. Had a tough angle, and it was contested nicely as well.
A little up and under move wouldn't go there for Harvey.
What I love both teams, Jay, they're contesting everything down by the basket. They're not giving up anything easy.
They keep it moving to the left side. Breitbach's jumper this time won't go, and rebound grab there by Josh Gullickson for the Trojans. Now it's Heidi bringing it to the front court here. Wayzata leading at 10-6. Heidi tried to cross it over. It went off of the foot of a Yahweh, so no over and back. Oops, and then he gave it away. A Yahweh with the steal, and Heidi fouls him and will send him to the free throw line. They were looking to work a little pick and roll there, and Heidi kind of threw that one without verifying that his teammate was going to be there.
Yeah, that's always a dangerous pass at the top of the key like that. You see, it looked like Bjerke was going back door there, and Yahweh did a great job getting up in that passing lane. He's a pretty athletic guy for his size. We saw him earlier against Park Center in the season have a pretty good game, and they're out in transition.
Misses on the free throw, and this has been another thing that's kind of fallen of late for Armstrong. Not just their outside shooting from the perimeter during the course of play, but their free throw shooting has also been a struggle of late. And Coach Bryan, as Allie mentioned, just said just kind of collectively they sort of lost their shooting mojo a little bit. They've generally been a pretty good shooting team, but of late that hasn't been the case.
Well, the good thing is a lot of times that's contagious. One guy can get hot, and all of a sudden it feeds on to the rest of the team. So maybe they can live off of Breitbach hitting those couple of threes. Maybe they're going to have a good shooting night. You see one guy putting it in, sometimes it's contagious.
Danny Bees is in along with the number 10, Dylan Inninger for Armstrong, and we get a foul here against the Trojans. It'll be an illegal screen set by Grant Bokovitz.
Foul on number 25, Grant Bokovitz. Back in the lineup for Wayzata, number 5.
Yeah, running a double screen there, trying to get Heidi an open look. He's a great shooter from the perimeter.
And number 25, Grant Bokovitz.
So Bokovitz picking up that foul. Sean Larkins, number 2, also in there now for Armstrong. He has the ball, gives it to Breitbach. Looking to attack on Benega. Benega fouled him. But see, Breitbach knew he had just a little bit of a step on him, and he wasn't going to just back off when he got bumped a little bit.
See, I love that. So many guys, they take that first dribble, and a guy's kind of there, and they stop, or they pick up their dribble. I love that Breitbach just attacked there. You're either going to get a foul call or you're going to get to the basket.
Tried to go up over Benega that time and got the shot away, but it was a tough one. And rebounded by the Trojans. Heidi's pull-up won't go. Breitbach grabs the board.
Well, you said it when you and I were talking before the game. He's got a beautiful shot, doesn't he? I mean, just watching his release. I know he missed that one long, but he's got a great form.
Ben-Hur Solomon over to Larkins. Breitbach cut off. Solomon looking to go to work here. Kicks it back out. Good defensive possession here by the Trojans. There's a tip and a steal as Harvey came up with it, and now Benega is foul. Bees will pick up the foul.
Well, it was a great job by Harvey there, pushing the ball, keeping his head up. He saw Benega running ahead of him, and kind of a tough pass, but able to get him to the bounce pass. Benega does the right thing, attacks the basket hard. He's going to get to the free throw line.
Number 5, Eddie Benega, shooting 2.
Benega knocks it down.
I think half the fun over the years of doing Wayzata games, Jay, is hearing the public announcers try to pronounce the Benega last name. You very rarely get Benega. It's Benega. You hear all sorts of different versions.
Benega, I've heard a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been a few. I was just going to say, you've seen a lot of Benegas for Wayzata. You've seen a lot of B-wins for Armstrong over the years. And been part of these programs for a long time. Various brothers been playing. Solomon shooting it up, and it's good for 3 from the left side.
Well, nice penetration by Larkins, and Solomon squared up. Has a slower release, but went right into it uncontested and knocks it down. That's big.
And there's where just that little bit of penetration can give you just that step you need to get that shot up. No good there by Gullickson, and here come the Falcons. Chance to tie or go ahead with the 3. Reitbach will pull up, long 2 attempt, won't go. Benega rebounds. Benega handing it off. Here's a drive and finish. Nice hoop there by Harvey as he got Iniger behind him a little bit and able to follow through and finish that shot, and Iniger will pick up the foul.
Yeah, a little dribble handoff there, and really heads up by Harvey. Realized he had the angle. I thought he was going to finish on the right side of the basket. Actually came back with the left hand and took the contact. You mentioned it, another sophomore with pretty good height, good length. They're getting some great minutes this year.
Free throw is good, and some nice creativity around the hoop that time for Harvey.
Number 15, Drew Berkman, and number 32, Cardi Majorki. For the Falcons, returning to the lineup, number 22, Adam Beewan, and number 32, Hezekiah Yahweh.
So 5-point Wayzata lead here. Larkins to the baseline and then cut off. Here's a Yahweh against Bjerke. Kick it back out. Beewan, a contested 3, but it's good. At 6'5", he can get that shot off, even with the defender in not too bad a position there.
Well, what I like, they got a good, they got the ball inside twice. One on Larkin's penetration, the other one getting a Yahweh down low, and that led to a very good shot. That's their 4th made 3 so far, so maybe that rim's coming off a little bit for them. They're shooting the ball pretty nicely tonight.
Yeah, all their baskets are 3-pointers. And there's Beewan getting into the passing lane to deflect that one here. So Armstrong trying to build off that made 3, and a good defensive possession here so far. Lower scoring game at this point, which, as we said, at least numbers-wise, probably favors Armstrong.
Yep.
Both teams playing pretty solid defense. You know, you get the feeling that they know each other fairly well, just on the way they've been able to generally stay with their defensive assignments until there's a nice reverse layup by Harvey as he got free on the baseline.
Harvey only averages 4 a game, already over his per game average, but a great dribble penetration and a nice cut. I'll tell you, that's one thing Wayzata has always done such a good job. They do not stay stagnant. They keep moving. You turn your head, they're going to backdoor you. A nice finish too.
Nice rake down there by Benega for the steal. He'll go all the way, but a little too strong. And then out of bounds off of Armstrong. It will be Wayzata basketball as Heidi comes back into the Trojans lineup. Just under 8 minutes to go here first half. Wayzata leading by 4 on the road. Heidi with a runner, won't go. And a Yahweh, the rebound for Armstrong. Iniger, an open look from the right side, won't drop.
Good look there for a really good shooter. Iniger, very, very capable 3-point shooter. Got a wide open, uncontested look.
Bjerke faked the handoff one way, gives it the other way. Berkland, a little pull up, that one way off. Larkins, yeah, good call there. He got bodied into, and it was kind of an unnecessary one by Birkeland. It looked like they really had defended pretty well, but he just got a little over-aggressive in putting his chest into the dribbler there.
That's his second. He's going to have to take a seat. I'll tell you, I like what Deshaun Larkins is doing, Jay. Every time he's getting the ball, he's putting pressure on that defense. He hasn't scored, but he's made a number of nice passes, getting into the paint and driving and kicking and finding the open guy.
I think Brian Schnettler agreed with my assessment that he got too much into the body there. Either that or he's kind of sticking up for his player there, but he got in the official's ear a little bit there after that foul call. Benega shooting it from the right side, no good. Nice box out, and Solomon rebounds.
Yeah, Armstrong giving up some size there down low to Bjerke and to Heidi, but doing a great job boxing out, limiting Wayzata to one shot.
Wheewan, little hesitation, dribble down the baseline. Now a Yahweh will turn and shoot that face-up jumper, and it's good for three.
There's 5 made three-pointers, so they're starting to really shoot the ball well. Yahweh has good touch, steps out, and again, just nails it. They're shooting the ball very confidently here tonight.
Bjerke from the top, almost banking that one in. And the rebound chased down by Larkin, so Armstrong a chance to go in front here. We approach 6 minutes to play now here in this first half. Solomon trying to go inside to Iniger, and he finishes just before Bjerke could get there. Iniger maybe not necessarily a post-up guy usually, but had a little bit smaller defender on him, and he was able to finish it.
Yeah, he had Yarborough on him and just able to seal him. All he had to do was turn and finish. Bjerke came over just a second too late. Nice basket.
Connor Yarborough's pass just barely getting to Heidi. Little up and under off the window. He tried to go get that one himself, but did not work out. Here comes Ben-Hur Solomon. A little Euro step, and a floater is good. And there's their first non-three-pointer. I mean, their second, excuse me. The Iniger had that last inside bucket, and Armstrong now up 20-17.
Well, nice run. They're playing very well defensively. They're forcing tough shots. Watch the big Euro step there. He's got those long strides, able to avoid the contact. Beautiful play in transition. And Armstrong doesn't get a lot of transition plays, so that's a spark for them. And I tell you see those three-point shots falling, it's funny, when you score, everything else starts to feel better, right? You play better defense, you start running harder in transition. So I think offensively, Armstrong's got to be very pleased with how they've started the game.
And what coaches always try to convince you is it works the other way. Yeah, you start with D and then your offense will come too. But yeah, just the overall feel. And I think being at home and playing an opponent that they, got knocked out of the playoffs by last year, that's kind of a crosstown rival, I would think it has them really interested and excited to play this game after having a little bit of a dud, even though they won on Tuesday night against Rogers.
Yeah, and you look at that, 7 for 17, but 5 for 7 from 3, so shooting the heck out of the basketball from the perimeter. And I'll tell you what, if you can do that and then mix in some good looks in transition, you're going to be off to the races.
Bjerke the miss from out top, Breitbach the rebound, and so Armstrong with a three-point lead, and Newbern will walk the ball into the front court here for the Falcons.
Other than a couple of layups by Harvey, nothing easy for Wayzata. Everything coming from three-point land or contested, nothing easy.
Breitbach open for three, it's short. He was hot early with a couple of early makes, but he's missed a couple since. Camden Heidi now into the front court for the Trojans. Benega turns the corner and gets the layup.
That was just great speed right there. You see how he's kind of slow, probing, and then he just went for it and able to kind of beat his defender with that little change of pace right there and exploded to the basket.
Newbern giving it up to Breitbach.
Nice pass.
And there's Solomon. It was interesting because I was watching and Solomon set a solid screen. His defender actually shoved him and probably could have been called for a foul, but it left him open and he was ready for the pass.
The quarterback on the gridiron, great vision there, always dribbling with his head up. Beautiful pass.
Armstrong by three. Benega handing it off there to Gullickson, and they keep it moving now. Harvey back out. Bjerke will shoot another three, and no good there. And again, a solid box out for Armstrong, this time Bwin.
And again, another contested three. Nothing easy for Wayzata.
Breitbach turning that one over. That's why coaches will tell you don't leave your feet to pass. Benega dropping it off and then gets a return in the corner. Heidi attacking, offensive foul, no.
You know, I was just going to say, this is where Camden Heidi needs to step up and get his team a basket. They've gotten a number of possessions without scoring. That time he didn't settle for a perimeter shot or a floater. He went hard to the basket. And most of the time you're going to get rewarded with referees, and they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I think this foul might have been called a little bit before Heidi landed in the defender. Yeah. And I think Coach Bryant was kind of asking for that explanation because it appeared that the defender was set.
I think they got him from behind. You see the referee show that he was calling that push. So.
Rovitz coming back in for Wayzata as Heidi takes his second free throw. Missed it, tipped around, and Breitbach controls it. So Heidi goes 0 for 2 at the line. Timeout, John Bryant. His team leading at 22-19, 3:18 to play here in this first half. And as we said, these teams both in Section 6-4A. It's going to be an interesting playoff, I think. And you know, coming into the season, I think a lot of people would have said Wayzata would be one of the top 2 or 3, and they certainly may ultimately be, but their record, you know, got off to a slow start and all of that, and you have to weigh a lot of things when you're looking at records because you got teams from several different conferences in there.
Yeah, if you look at that, Armstrong currently projected to be the 2 seed, Wayzata the 4 seed. I would assume Cooper would be the 3 seed out of that group, right?
Well, certainly could be.
On projection as of right now. So, yeah, and then you got Hopkins, obviously projected to be the number 1 seed. So, yeah, it's I feel like Hopkins might be a little bit above everyone right now, but a lot of parity from, you know, number 2 through number 5. You know, and I think whoever wins this game is going to feel like maybe going into the playoffs, they might have a little bit of an edge.
Yahweh handing it off to Bwin. Turns, spins, and scores.
Great pace that time. Jump stop, didn't have it, and with his length, able to reverse spin away from the basket and extend. Beautiful shot.
And the other thing about that, with making that jump stop, okay, suppose he spins and turns and there's a defender there.
So what?
He's okay, he's still fine.
Yep. Jump stop is one of those simple fundamental things that very few kids do now.
Benega miss. Heidi, the putback wouldn't go, and then it rolls free to Benega or to Bwin. And offensive foul on Newburn. He hit a really tough shot, but it won't count.
Armstrong offensive foul is on number 1, Peyton Newburn.
So the lead will stay at 5 as Newburn.
I think it was Bokovitz that took the charge there. Nice job.
Boy, and that would have been a big swing if that was a 3-point chance instead. They would have been up 7 with a chance to go up 8.
Well, and that's one of those two where the jump stop comes in. If you're able to jump stop there, your momentum doesn't carry you forward. Nice pick and roll. Nice pick and roll.
Heidi missing inside. The tip wouldn't go either. Heidi's had a little bit of a rocky first half here. Newburn.
You know, he didn't make that, but that's a great shot attempt. You get down low. Again, good contest by Armstrong and not giving up second chance points.
Ben-Hur Solomon stepping out and nailing. He's got 2 threes and a pair of 2s, 10 points for him, and the lead is 8 for Armstrong.
Well, how about this? 18 of the 27 points coming from the 3-point line. As Allie alluded to, they've been struggling as of late, but maybe have it figured out.
And answering at the other end, Ryan Harvey's had a nice first half with 8 points for the Trojans, and they're back to within 5.
Yeah, they need it because their scoring right now is just not coming from guys it normally does. So big job by Harvey here filling some of that scoring gap.
A Yahweh to the baseline over to Solomon. Newburn trying to go inside. Was it tipped? No. Armstrong was hoping that pass was deflected, and the officials are going to get together, I think, and see if somebody from a different angle saw it as a tip pass or not.
Well, it's the right idea by Newberg.
It is going to be Armstrong ball.
Yep.
Yep. Good job of officiating there to get together.
You had the baseline drive and then quick ball rotation. Newberg attacks. He had the right idea.
Returning to the lineup for Wayzata, number 21, Connor Yarbrough, and number 32.
Attacking right there. That's it.
I'm not so sure it was tipped.
And number 25, Grant Pagovich.
Bwin dropping it back. Here comes Newbern. Under a minute to play first half. Breitbach will shoot it up and hit another three.
His third one of the night. He hit those first two, then got cold there for a little while. That time knocks it down. It's a sign of a great player. So what if you miss your last 2 or 3 shots? He stepped into it, got a good look, and buried it.
Kind of feels like Wayzata is saying, prove you can make these, and Armstrong saying, yeah, okay, we will. Here's Bjerke looking to attack. Left it short. Breitbach grabs it, and Coach Bryant says, let's play for one shot, under 20 seconds to go. At worst, they could go in up 8, even if they miss this last shot.
Well, and I think Yahweh's done a great job at contesting shots down low without falling. Nothing's been easy so far for Wayzata. Great pass.
Newbern into a Yahweh, no good as Bjerke was there to bother it. Now a half-court heave and not going to go. And we have come to halftime here, and it is Armstrong with a solid last several minutes of the half as they will take an 8-point lead into halftime, and the Falcons, I think, feeling like they have kind of rediscovered their shooting touch a little bit in this first half. It certainly feels like it up to this point, as they will be taking an 8-point lead into halftime here against Brian Schnettler's Trojans. Let's go down now to Allie with Coach Bryant.
Coach, we talked about getting that offense rolling. 15 of your first 20 points were three-pointers, and they keep falling. What do you like about your offense in the first?
Well, we did a pretty good job moving the ball, setting screens for each other, slipping some screens, getting some easy baskets, and that opens up the three a little bit.
We also talked about you guys needing to be on Wayzata's shooters, holding them to 20-plus points in the first half. What do you want to carry from your first half defense into the second?
We just got to keep playing hard, keep tagging their shooters, not let them get easy opportunities.
How close will this game get, do you think?
What's that?
How close do you think this game will get?
Well, it'll go down to the wire.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thanks to Coach Bryant. And he has to be happy with what he saw in that first half, but like any coach, you're not ever feeling satisfied or like, oh, we've got this one in the bag, that's for sure. 30-22 Falcons here at halftime. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our halftime here and then our second half of basketball. You're watching boys basketball on CCX Sports.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Pa?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things. But all of them are pure love.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time.
Welcome back here to Armstrong. The band on hand here tonight as the Falcons leading Wayzata by a score of 30-22. Let's check out some highlights from the opening half of play here this evening. And
something tells me we're going to see a lot of threes by red jerseys.
Yeah, that might be a good guess there. And starting out though, Wayzata hitting a couple of early threes to fall. Drew Berkland hitting that one, and there's a bucket for Heidi. Benninga giving it back, and Bjerke knocking it down. Early on, they were matching him shot for shot, but then that kind of changed more as the half went on. And nice baseline cut there, and Harvey the reverse layup. But things got stagnant a little bit for Wayzata, and give Armstrong a lot of the credit for that later on as well. Harvey, though, stepping out and nailing a three here for the Trojans. Armstrong with Breitbach getting it going early for them. You could kind of tell he was coming out aggressive tonight, it felt like, looking for his own shot a little bit tonight.
Those were two of their first 3 or 4 possessions, so I think he got him off to that kind of that hot start, and then everyone else followed. There's Sullivan knocking down one.
And Bwin getting in on the act as well, as he had a couple of variety of hoops, and then Solomon.
Nice.
Now, if you're Wayzata right there, you're saying that's not too bad a D. If he can make that, you just
the level of
tip your
difficulty.
cap.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
You see off the bench, Harvey with 8 to lead the Trojans. Benninga has 6, and conspicuously absent from that list, Camden Heidi only 2 points. And Solomon with 10 points to lead the way for Armstrong. Breitbach's been good with 9, and Bwin with 5. Yahweh has just 4 points for them, but they have succeeded with a relatively quiet night for him, at least in terms of scoring the ball so far.
Well, one of the things that you don't show on highlights is good defense, right? You show steals, but I just think Armstrong's defense has been solid. Nothing easy for Wayzata, and they've made them work for every shot that they've gotten. I think that's a big reason they're leading by 8.
So we'll take another timeout, come back with more of our coverage here of boys basketball. It's Armstrong leading Wayzata 30-22 at halftime.
My son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people. That's why when Andrew was suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just broke. As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
Welcome back to Armstrong. Let's go down to Alley with Coach Schnetler.
Coach, you said it was going to be very important to establish Carter Bjerke inside in this game. It really didn't happen in the first half. How do you get him going in the second?
Yeah, they're doing a good job front the post. we got to trust each other a little more. When we're missing Cody tonight, we're not moving the ball as well as we normally do. We're taking tougher shots. I think guys feel like they got to do a little more than they need to, and we got to move the ball better, make some more extra passes, cut a little harder, and I think we'll get better looks this half.
I know you guys like the tempo fast. How do you gain that control in the second as well?
Yeah, I mean, but we just got to trust, and we've been up and down with that a little bit this year, and we got to have 18 minutes of that to win this basketball game.
Do you think this is coming down to the wire, Coach?
I didn't hear you.
Do you think this is coming down to the wire?
I sure hope so. I think we'll have a chance in the end.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allie and Coach Schnettler. And, you know, the good news, I guess, for Wayzata is I don't think they played a particularly good first half by their standards. Still within striking distance very much, though, at 8. I mean, they could make that gap up in a hurry. But obviously, as Coach said, he wants to see, a little bit more of certain things. And I thought it was an interesting point that he made, that he felt like a couple of his guys were maybe trying to do too much or doing things a little bit out of the offense to get their shots going.
Well, one thing, if I'm a Wayzata fan, I'd like to see Camden Heide operate down low with his length and his size. See if you can't get him down low where he can maybe use some of his athleticism, get a couple of easy baskets. As a scorer, you just want to see that ball go in the basket. Maybe he gets fouled, can get back to the free throw line, even though he missed those 2 that he had in the first half. Get his rhythm going, and then Bjerke, I know there's some size on Armstrong, but no one can match up with him. He spent a lot of time out at the perimeter. Maybe they can get him going down low as well. And we haven't seen much pressure from Wayzata full court. Maybe they try to pick up and get that tempo going, get a couple of easy turnovers, and force Armstrong into having to play their style, their tempo.
I think Armstrong got into quite a rhythm in terms of shooting too, and the Wayzata, obviously you just, bottom line, you want to say play better defense, but some little things you can do, maybe bump in a cutter a little bit or something, so they're not getting just exactly the looks they want to, maybe making them take one dribble instead of just catch and shoot and that kind of thing.
The best advice I ever got was, as a defender, you want to make the offense feel you. And I don't think that Wayzata did that in the first half. Armstrong was comfortable, and I thought Armstrong on the flip side did do a good job of that. They made Wayzata feel them, and kind of whoever takes control of that in the second half, I think is going to have the edge.
Number 4, Jay Freitbach. Number 15, Benner Solomon. Number 22, Adam Bewan. And number 32, Hezekiah Iyala.
Into New Bern, and here we go in half number 2. Birkeland getting up, playing some solid D right there. Maybe we saw a little bit of that already.
Well, and he's that one guy, he had a little early foul trouble, but he will get physical. He played good pressure defense.
The always pass tip, Breitbach giving it back, and they'll start again up top. Breitbach cutting hard to get it, and Heide with the block. Armstrong asking for a goaltend. They say no.
Well, either way, I think you like the urgency that Wayzata played defense there. You saw a tip ball, pressure defense, playing really their best possession of defense that we've seen all game.
Inside, they try to go to Bjerke, ripped away by Bewan, but it'll be off Armstrong and stay here with Wayzata.
Well, I'll tell you, if they can establish Bjerke down low, you have to, Armstrong's going to have to start doubling or having help defense. It's going to open your shooters up. So I love the strategy of, even though they weren't successful there, trying to get him the ball down low.
And out of bounds on the catch there as Heide dropped the pass off for Gullickson, who was cutting on the baseline, but he had a heel on the end line apparently there. So turnover, we'll give it back to Armstrong. Nobody's scored yet here in the second half. It's still an 8-point Armstrong lead.
Nice slip.
Solomon missed it. Yahweh the rebound. Boy, and again, if he had gone right up with that one, he had a layup and he just faded away. He was a little slow to react. Heide thought about the 3 there. Benega giving it back to Birkeland. A foul on the shot, on the screener, Benega. As he tried to get in Breitbach's way as he came out to try and stop him. And Benega will pick it up. New Bern almost lost it, and then did. Birkeland with the steal. And then taken right back by Bewan, and he was fouled.
That was great play by Berglund. Great hustle. He dove for it. I didn't think he was going to get it, and then just ripped the ball away. But Buin sprinting back, able to take it right back. That was 2 really good defensive plays. Look at the hustle. You love to see that as a coach. And then here at Buin, great job playing without fouling there.
Buin the other way, had it knocked away from behind, and the Trojans get the steal.
Again, urgency defensively.
Bjerke will knock down a 3 for the Trojans.
That's good. They see the ball go in. Bjerke struggled a little bit, hit 1-3 there, gets a clean look, and it buries it.
Buin, almost threw that one away. Newbern into traffic, almost tied up. Timeout Armstrong is there, not getting into their sets as well, and I think a lot of that has to do with better intensity defensively for the Trojans.
How about Berglund? You got the one steal where he's diving, and then it was transition the other way. Did you see him sprint down the floor? His hustle knocked that ball loose that led to a 3. There's Bjerke again, pretty well contested too. That's a tough shot. He's got that size and that height to shoot over it.
So even though they've only cut the margin by just getting that one hoop, it does definitely feel like a little bit different. Wayzata team here. I have a feeling Coach Nettler, kind of got after him maybe a little bit at halftime, where he's generally a pretty calm guy, but I think he wanted to see more intensity overall out of them and sharpen some things up a little bit.
I think the word that would sum up their first half, lethargic, right? It wasn't bad, it wasn't terrible, it just very going through the motions, if you will. You can tell the intensity, and it starts on defense, is picked up here. That's the thing, no matter how you shoot the ball, if you're playing terribly on offense, you can always compete like crazy on the defensive end, and they've come out and done that.
Well, I think the other thing too is that good teams kind of realize if maybe our shot isn't right where we want it tonight, let's score other ways too. The defensive end is obviously a key, but also doing some things a little bit different offensively to get things going, whether it be post-ups or even drawing fouls and getting to the line.
But there on that dribble handoff, just Wayzata's making them feel them on defense. Those were easy handoffs, uncontested the first half.
Breitbach had a nice drive, but then hit the bottom of the rim with that shot as he was a little off balance, and Heidi will be called for a travel. Like he was going to be tied up, but on the spin move, he's called for a little shuffle.
I would have liked to see Heidi that time just go right up with it, with the heading to his right there. Tried to spin away from it. I think with his athleticism and length, if he just elevates, I don't know if there's anyone that can contest that.
Larkin's back in there. He gives it to Solomon here for the Falcons. Armstrong has still not scored in the half. The good news for them, Wayzata's only hit 1 bucket.
And Larkins, although he didn't score in the first half, I thought he had some really good minutes, some good penetration, nice playmaking for Armstrong.
Here's Solomon. They double down on him and knocked away by Berglund there.
He's been the Tasmanian devil here on defense in the second half, getting his hands on everything.
It'll sound funny, but you almost think if you're Armstrong, you didn't want your kids to feel too good about themselves in that first half. I mean, it was a good first half for them. They're up 8, but you don't want them to be thinking that coming into the second half. And the Yahweh misses, and they're clearly out of rhythm early in this half. Benega, the up and under, that was creative, but didn't quite go. Bwin giving it to a Yahweh, hands off to Larkins. And Larkins was out of bounds. Berglund was there physical with him and tried to save it off Berglund, but he was already out of bounds.
Yeah, and this is where Armstrong, I think they need Breitbach or Bwin, someone who could just say, I'm going to go get us a basket. Create their own shot, not manufacturing it through the offense, but someone that can drive, penetration, get to the basket, get a good look for him.
Whoa, that one nearly stolen now. It's on the floor in a big scramble. Trojans keep possession barely. Heidi with it here. Benninga had it knocked free, gets it back, and then his pass was chipped.
I don't know if it's just great defense on both sides or just sloppy offense, but neither team really getting in much of a rhythm offensively.
Harvey will come back in. He had a good first half off the bench here for the Trojans. Birkeland from the corner, short, but Harvey rebounds. Bjerke attacks and scores.
Nice. I love that. He showed the ball, shot fake, top of the key. He's hit a couple, so they sprint out and defend it. And a nice little hop step, jump stop, big time finish, cuts the lead to 3.
So Wayzata scored the only points of the half, all 5 of them by Bjerke. And now we get a foul call going against the Trojans here. That's going to be Birkeland, and I'm not terribly surprised because he's been real physical and he's been doing his best to get after dribblers, and picked up the foul there, and sometimes that'll happen. I mean, I think he's still doing an effective job. Larkins, the drive, and he was fouled. Bjerke got him with the body.
Well, Larkins that time showing his quickness, and I love how he didn't hesitate. He just attacked. He turned the corner, and he went right into the body of Bjerke there. You see him go jump into the body. That's what you got to do against shot blockers. If you just go straight up, their length is going to be able to block it, but if you go right into their chest, a lot of times you'll get that foul call.
Larkins hits the free throw. Only 3 bench points here for the Falcons so far. Their lead is 4 right now.
Yeah, almost 5 minutes without any scoring here in the second half.
In and out on the second. Bjerke the rebound, so the Trojans a chance to cut into the lead further here. They were down 8 at half. They're down 4 now. Here's Camden Heidi on the drive, and it rolls in.
And that's what I think you'd love to see more of him. He's very good off the dribble. He's got that bounce. And if he could do that attack like that, I think he's that one player that can really attack. And I think if he does that, he'll open up more for his shooters as well.
Solomon back over to Bwin for 3.
He's got a pretty shot too, doesn't he? Great arc. That ball was hitting the ceiling up there, but barely hit the net. Big 3, big answer for Armstrong.
Birkeland working his way into the lane and kicks it over. Harvey's wide open, and he hits a 3.
That was just great basketball. Nice drive by Birkeland. Got into the heart of that defense. Instead of forcing a tough shot, he finds Harvey wide open there for 3, and he knocks it down. Harvey having a big night scoring for him.
2-point lead here for Armstrong. Breitbach gives it back. Bwin will try another, this time in and out, and Heidi the rebound. Heidi kicking it over. Bjerke shooting it up. A rainbow, good for 3 more. And Wayzata into the lead.
He's got 8 here in the second half. 2 threes. Offense starting to pick up. Wayzata again, I think it's all that drive and kick. If they can drive, kick, and find their shooters.
Speaking of drive and kick, here's Bwin from Breitbach. Falcons back into the lead on that hoop from Bwin. Harvey for Birkeland, and he was tripped up there by Breitbach. It'll be a foul on Jake, his first.
Armstrong foul is on number 4, Jake Breitbach.
Benninga coming back in. So the Trojans briefly taking the lead. Armstrong goes back in front now, so a 2-point game. Benninga pulls up from 15. It's short. There's Harvey, though, with the rebound.
He's been great tonight, doing it in a variety of ways, too. He's got 13. Hitting threes, driving to the basket. That time an offensive rebound. And that's something Armstrong did not allow in the first half for those second chance points.
Larkins traveled as he dropped that pass off. Yeah, we commented a number of times on how nice their blockouts were in that first half.
Well, and I can guarantee you they're thinking of keeping Heidi and Bjerke off the offensive glass, you're not really thinking Ryan Harvey at 6'3" that you got to keep off the glass, but at that time he was relentless, able to follow it and get the easy layup.
Benega's pass out of bounds as Heidi started to cut just as he was throwing that ball.
Yeah, those are the little things that when you're out of rhythm, that happens. We saw it in the first half where guys were going backdoor and the person passing it didn't see it, and just a little miscommunication there a couple times here tonight.
Breitbach giving it up to Bwin. Here's Iniger who's checked back in. Yahweh calling for it down low. Swings it across. Solomon for three, and it is good. His third three of the night as he loads that shot up. It's kind of a slow release, but money there, and he has a total of 13, and it's a 3-point lead for Armstrong.
Yeah, he's been great tonight, 13 points. He's been a great scorer for them. Nice look.
Inside. And Bwin denying Camden Heidi there. Here's Iniger. Cross for Yahweh. Got away, but he picks it up and is fouled.
I thought Iniger that time should have gone right up for the layup and made the unselfish play. Tough pass to catch, but Yahweh did a great job staying with it and then going right at the basket.
So Yahweh to the free throw line here. He's 1 for 2 this evening.
Kind of interesting the second half. It seemed like it was going all Wayzata. Armstrong doing a nice job of kind of answering that run and now going back up 4.
Gullickson comes back in here for the Trojans. One more coming for Yahweh here. And no good on the second, so the lead stays at 4, 41-37. Harvey giving it up to the cutter, but then a nice steal by Solomon as the Yarbrough tried to come back out with it.
And Yarbrough that time again get caught in the air. And good length by that Armstrong defense. Again, nothing easy for Wayzata. Armstrong really doing a nice job defending everything.
A Yahweh from the top of the key, and it's good for 3. Nice unselfish play to keep it moving there by Solomon too.
They have certainly cured their shooting blues tonight as they're hitting, and not just one guy, they're all hitting them tonight. The Yahweh, his second one, and that one was all net.
So just a moment ago, we were talking about how well Wayzata had been playing in the second half, and they briefly came back, took the lead, and here we look up again, and it's 7.
Yeah, nice kick in the Yahweh. Initially wasn't going to shoot it, was looking to pass, realized no one was closing out on him, and says, hey, you know what, I hit one earlier, I just hit a free throw, I got this. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Yeah, look at Armstrong, 7 for 10 in the first half, 4 for 5, 11 for 15. I'd say they've cured it.
Yeah, that'll win you some games, right? Yeah. Coach Bryant was saying the other night, he said, Spring Lake Park's a team that's a really high-scoring team. We held them in check defensively, but he said they shot 2 for 21 from 3.
Well, most teams that get in there's Wayzata picked it up a little bit here as far as percentage in the second half, but 11 made threes. A lot of teams are shooting 30 to 35 shots to get that. If you go 11 for 15, not only are you making a lot of them, but you're efficient. And the better you shoot, now it opens up some of your drives too.
Birkeland is fouled. A little bit of an awkward looking shot, and I think that kind of helped him as the defender made a wrong guess about how and he was going to release that one.
Yeah, kind of a different angle too, that scoop shot. Good extension with the left hand. Almost got it to go.
Yahweh picked up that foul, and it's a make on the first free throw for Birkeland. Second one, no good, and Bwin grabs the rebound for the Falcons. They tried to double him quick, but he gets it out to Newburn. So a 6-point lead here for Armstrong.
That was good talk there by Armstrong. You could see the Birkeland coming from behind. You heard Armstrong, guys, letting him know he was able to pick up his dribble before the steal happened. That's good communication.
And it happened at the end away from their bench too, so that made it more important for the on-court guys to be watching. Solomon down low, gonna kick it back out. Newburn had it knocked loose, got it back, and then floats a pass out to Bwin.
See Yahweh working hard down low, wants that ball. He earned that. And it's only fitting that he got it down there. He got great position. He was battling for about 5-10 seconds there, finally got it, turned and scored. He's having a nice game offensively.
Birkeland, the catch and shoot three is good.
You can almost tell the way certain guys step into their shots. It doesn't just look like a good rhythm shot. You almost expected that one to go down, and it did.
Knocked away from Bwin, and he's able to recover it. So they got a quick advantage here. Over to Newburn, and that's good for three. His first basket tonight.
Yeah, everyone's shooting well for Armstrong. Nice job by Bwin driving and kicking.
8-point lead again for the Falcons. Birkeland attacking, no good. Here comes Newburn. Didn't have the numbers, so he pulls it back out. Solomon around. Bwin short with the three as Birkeland really hustled to get back in and get a hand up. Here's Harvey looking to answer at the other end, and that's good for three. And that's what Wayzata wanted to see more of, not only tonight, but this year. That kind of thing where push the ball quickly and then get a quick open look.
Well, and it starts with, hey, you force a tough shot, great rebound by Bjerke, and you push it and you go. Nice job by Birkeland finding Ryan Harvey. And how about Harvey tonight? 16 points. Really been a pleasant surprise and a big part of the scoring load for them.
And really, Birkeland, if he hadn't hustled to jump across the face of Bwin on that shot, I think the chances are pretty good it would have gone in.
But yeah, to your point, Jay, we just haven't seen a lot of that transition tonight where they get a rebound and push it. And that's something that's a staple of Wayzata. You see a push it transition leads to a wide open three like we just saw.
Foul went against Harvey there, so Armstrong inbounding on the baseline here. 6:07 to go, Armstrong by 5. Bwin, little up and under, switches to the right hand and finishes. He's a lefty, but he went right hand there, and nice hoop there. He has 8 in the half, 13 total.
Beautiful footwork. You got Bjerke to go for that little left-handed fake step through. The footwork on that was gorgeous.
Baniga with a floater has the answer.
Yeah, his first basket of the second half. I think they need him to score tonight. Remember, he's filling in for Cody Williams in the starting lineup, and Cody Williams, averaging about 13 a game, so someone's got to step up and fill that void. So far, it's just been Ryan Harvey.
Trojans get the steal. They're back within 5 and get possession here. Harvey down the lane. Oh, going to be a blocking foul. He was inside that restricted area. So Breitbach will pick up the foul. And kind of an unfortunate one for Armstrong because they had Harvey really seemingly not sure what he wanted to do. But that's exactly the reason that they've gone to that restricted area there, is to give the official and the players a little easier opportunity to see it, whether he's too far under the hoop or not.
The interesting thing there, Jay, is he took the foul. He actually didn't shoot it. He was looking to pass it at the end. But the referees, I think, automatically gave him the shooting foul.
Harvey makes the first, in and out on the second, and it's going to be out off of the Yahweh.
Yeah, watch the end of this. Harvey goes up. He gets the foul, kind of just lets go of the ball. I think fortunate maybe to get 2 free throws out of it.
Yeah, I think I would call that a shot, though. I mean, it didn't quite make it to the hoop or anything, but
I think he let go of it, realizing maybe to protect himself, knowing there was going to be a contact there.
Heidi into the lane. Missed it on the run and taken out of there by Larkins. Here's Bwin ahead of the pack. Layup is good.
Now transition for Armstrong. Beautiful throw ahead, and Bwin, he's got good speed. He's got good length, too, able to finish right at the rim there.
6-point lead, Armstrong. We get a hold on Larkins as he came out, closed out hard on Harvey, and then kind of got his hands into him on the dribble there. Not yet in the bonus, though. This, again, as Ryan said, a lot of jump shooting and also a veteran crew. I mean, I like the way the flow has been because of that. So many games you go to and it's just foul.
Yeah, it's hard to get into a rhythm as a player and as a viewer on those kind of games. Tonight, really nice flow to the game. Not a lot of stoppage. And really no questionable calls either. It's been pretty cut and dry and really well ref.
Heidi fires and makes a three. He's had a little bit of an off night, but still very capable, and he pulls the Trojans within 3.
Now that's huge. I think not only to cut the lead to 3, but just for his confidence and rhythm to see that ball go in, knock it down.
Breitbach attacking, had it blocked. Trojans cutting into the lead further, perhaps. Berkland on the drive, tough shot, would not go, and Larkins rebounds.
Yeah, I thought Berglund had the open 3 there, or could have kicked it to Heidi. Zed took a really difficult shot, and I think you credit Armstrong, Jay. They're just challenging everything. Nothing's been easy at the rim.
Feels like those kind of shots when in that, here's Solomon layup good. You got to be looking to use the board when you're on the run, I think, that close in.
That was a great feed by Breitbach, realizing there was no weak side defense. Threw it right over the top beautifully, and a quick catch and score by Solomon that time.
Lead is 5 here for Armstrong. Heidi might have shuffled him a little bit, I thought there. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Heidi. They look to go with that pick and roll, and he did not do it cleanly according to the official. So that'll be number 2 on Heidi.
Yeah, that's a third illegal screen we've seen called on Wayzata tonight.
For Wayzata in the lineup, number 1, Josh Gullickson.
Some full court pressure coming from the Trojans here. So 55-50 Armstrong lead. Solomon getting it ahead. Bwin to a Yahweh. Layup is good and a foul. Ooh, and a Yahweh went down hard. Gullickson fouled him. Let's hope he's all right.
I tell you, nice job. It looked like Wayzata was going to get a trap set up in the front court, but they threw it over the top, and they find a Yahweh down by the basket. And I love the big fella this time. He catches it, goes right up. Kind of a weird angle, almost had to reach back to put it up. And yeah, it didn't look good, but fortunately he got up and looks to be okay.
So a huge hoop there where it looked initially like Armstrong might be in a little bit of trouble in the backcourt, and all of a sudden they took advantage, had numbers up front, and get the layup plus the foul. And a Yahweh completes the 3-point play. So, boy, a big sequence right there. Armstrong now up 8.
How big has a Yahweh been tonight? I think just defensively as well, but now he's got 13 points too. Hit a couple threes. Yeah, I think if you're Armstrong right now, you just want to continue to defend that 3-point line. Force tough shots for Wayzata. Make them work for 2s, but do not give up an open 3-point shot. Nice cut.
Bjerke, and that one blocked by Breitbach as Berkland went to the scoop, and that one was blocked at about waist height there. Well, when you're a point guard, you don't get a whole lot of opportunities for shot blocks, so Breitbach kind of enjoyed that one.
Absolutely.
Lob for Heidi. What a tip. He got pushed a little bit too, and he still finished it.
Yeah, he had to reach all the way back with his right hand, somehow in the air, able to still tip that in and get it to go.
Solomon gets it to Bwin and around to Breitbach. Bwin thought about it there, and he had Solomon open as well. I think time and situation dictated don't shoot that one though.
That's actually a smart play. Maybe he makes it, but still you take more time off the clock and you get a great look.
Boy, Larkin set up Solomon. Looked like they were going to have a layup, but he blew it. Bjerke drops it off. That 3 won't go. Bjerke went hard for the rebound, but Falcons get it. Bwin giving it back to Larkins. Solomon, he will shoot this 3 in and out, and the putback try won't go, but a foul is Breitbach hitting the offensive glass, and Harvey, I believe, got into him and will pick up the foul.
Well, as well as Sullivan's been shooting, you can't blame him for taking that wide open look. But Breitbach, Jay, doesn't he always seem to be in the right place at the right time? Reading that, the angle on that, gets on the far side, and not only did he just rebound, he could have come down with it, instead tries to tip it while he's in the air and able to draw the foul.
Breitbach now into double figures with that free throw, 10 points.
I mean, that's something that's impressive too for Armstrong. They got 4 players in double figures, so tonight they've had just great balance across the board.
Makes the second one as well. Yeah, they're a team without a superstar, but they're a team with quite a few good players.
Yep.
So an 8-point lead now for Armstrong. Approaching 2 minutes to go.
I know they're going to be well coached, but they have a lot of high IQ basketball players too.
Birkeland will shoot. That one is short. Solomon the rebound for Armstrong. Breitbach to Solomon. He will attack, and Carter Bjerke swats it. Now it's the other way for Heidi. Well defended by Bwen, but the putback wouldn't go. They'll get another crack. Benega. Now around the horn it comes. Heidi for 3. It's short. Harvey kept it alive. Bjerke had a block by Larkins. Ooh, and a foul. Larkins thought he had all basketball there, but official saying caught him on the forehead on the way up.
That was a pretty exciting possession there. A lot of looks, a lot of shots, a loose ball, and it ends up in the hand of Bjerke.
Free throw is good.
Number 12, Trey Lance. He replaces number 31, Brian Harvey.
Yeah, it makes this, you're down to 6. So your 2 possessions, expect to see some pressure, try to get a trap, and see if you can't steal a possession and cause a turnover here.
Second free throw is also good. So 6-point game. This one definitely not over yet. It's trending Armstrong's way for sure, but they've got to take care of business down the stretch here. Larkins across to Breitbach, tip by Heidi, and they get the steal. Benega fires in and out with that one, and the rebound corralled by Breitbach, and then we get a foul against Wayzata as Larkins was knocked down.
Yeah, exactly what the Trojans wanted there. Got the tip ball, got the turnover, got a clean look for Benega. He knocks that down. It's a 1-possession game instead. Foul on Birkeland. And it's going to be shooting 2 now, a double bonus the rest of the way for the Falcons.
So Larkins to the free throw line. Double bonus situation, and in and out.
For Wayzata in the lineup, number 31, Ryan Harvey, and number 32, Carter Bjerke.
Harvey and Bjerke come back in.
And number 12, Trey Lance.
Larkins able to hit the second, so that was an important one. Makes it a 3-possession game here, 61-54. Approaching a minute to play now. Benega, the drive, they kick it back out. Birkeland able to knock down the 3, so Wayzata not done yet. And it's 61-57.
Big shot.
Reminder of our CCX Sports Play of the Week, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove, as we put 4 new plays up each week and let you, the viewers, decide the winner at ccxmedia.org. Again, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. And Armstrong students having some fun out here this evening as a 61-57 lead for their team here. But Wayzata coming back, hitting a 3. Let's go down to Allie.
Jay, before the game, I asked Coach Snetler, what's the best thing you guys have going for your team at this point in the season? And he said, you know, our young guys, they just aren't young anymore at this point. He said they have more experience than typical sophomores might. He said at this point, we know what it takes to win a big game. And here they are, 58 seconds left. It's a couple points. This is a big game.
Man, they've had some younger guys step up tonight. Ryan Harvey, again, only averages 4. He's got 17. He's been a bright spot tonight. trying to replace that lost scoring of Cody Williams out with an ankle injury. You know, it looked bleak, down 7, but they're still fighting. Hit a big 3 there, Berglund did, and now they're going to try to pick up full court, see if they can't get another turnover.
And Armstrong has been a little shaky handling it at times.
They haven't turned it over much, but it's looked shaky,
right.
You know, but they've somehow been able to be pretty good.
Breitbach ahead to Bwin as they get it into the front court. And he'll call a timeout as the double team was arriving there.
Yeah, you got to assume if you're Armstrong that Wayzata's going to try to trap every pass. So you got to be available. You can't telegraph your passes, ball fakes, and find the open man. Force Wayzata to try to foul you. You know, we talked about their shooting struggles this year. Obviously shooting the ball very well from three-point land, but making free throws down the stretch, especially here tonight, could be the difference in this game.
Hard to believe, but the regular season ends next week already here. So these teams are getting ready for gearing up toward playoff time. And boy, it goes quick, doesn't it? I mean, you just feel like you're getting into January and you're getting into the heart of the season, and all of a sudden, bang, here we go, we're almost done.
It feels like yesterday we did our opening football game of the year. So you think how fast the year goes and the seasons go. And
speaking of football, we just saw Darren Lampker there, the new Augsburg head football coach, an Armstrong grad, and was an assistant here and the head coach over at Osseo and then Edina, now taking the Augsburg job.
He's got the Augsburg colors floating already.
Solomon will trigger it in here for Armstrong. Gets it into Larkins. Trey Lance up pressuring him, and it will be a foul on Lance.
Well, that's what you got to do. You go for the steal. If you can't get it, you got to get a quick foul. And you want to try to extend this game as long as possible, putting Armstrong at the free throw line, hoping they miss both or one. You'll trade a 1 for a 3 at this point. Put the pressure on Armstrong to finish the game at the free throw line.
Larkins made 1 out of 2 last time he was there. He knocks down the first one. Seems some offensive for defensive substitutions there down the stretch for Wayzata. 5-point game right now. Larkins could make it 6 if he can make this second free throw. And he does exactly that. So he's 4 out of 6 in the second half. 63-57 Falcons here. Benega driving, layup is good, and a quick timeout. Armstrong, of course, didn't want to foul on that spot and maybe gave that one up a little too easy and a little too quick, but.
Well, I think that was well played by both teams. Armstrong not collapsing, didn't want to give up an open 3. And if you're Wayzata, sometimes you'll see teams force bad 3s in a position like this. Instead, Benega's heads up play, get all the way to the rim as quick as possible, quick timeout. Now you can set your defense up.
Yeah, you get as you see Armstrong's schedule down the stretch here, they'll be at Oak River and then at Centennial, and then that game against St. Louis Park's another game of a section opponent. So Park's been a little bit up and down, but still a team, you got to be ready for.
They've had some good wins this year too, some surprising wins. So absolutely.
Yeah, good point about what Benega did there too. I agree. There's so many times. I mean, obviously, math-wise, you'd rather have 3 than 2, but
a good 3, not a bad 3.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, people sometimes kind of, I think, panic and think that they need all 3s down the stretch, whether it's there or not.
You take a bad 3 and miss, game's probably over because you got a foul. Instead, you get the for sure 2 quickly, and again, that timeout, you can change a little something up defensively. Get everything set up, and now you got to hope for a turnover if you can.
Inbounded to Breitbach. Solomon will give it to Bwin, and he was fouled as the double team came, and Bwin will go to the free throw line.
Wayzata foul is on number 15, Drew Berkland.
That'll be the 5th on Berkland.
In the lineup for Wayzata, number 31, Ryan Harvey, and number 32.
He has really worked his butt off here tonight. I mean, to me, he was probably as big a reason that they were able to come back and make a game of this as anybody, just by the way he hustled and worked out there.
Well, he set the tone. You remember defensively, the first couple of possessions, diving on the floor, getting steals. Hit a couple of big threes, too. So he had a nice game, and you said it. He just plays really hard.
And I think the guys in red are probably not too disappointed he's out of there, because he's kind of one of the guys you don't love playing against, because he's pretty aggressive, pretty physical. Bwin calmly makes a pair, and so Wayzata now has its work cut out. Benega driving, this time not able to get the layup to go, and Yahweh the rebound. So they get a little bunched up here. Breitbach got rid of it to Yahweh, and now Bwin. And he'll turn away from the hoop, and it was stolen away. Now Bjerke throws it ahead. Benega gets the layup to go, and another quick timeout taken just when you start to think you can kind of put this one in the books. Here they come, but there's only 9 seconds to go now, and a 4-point game.
Was that Yarbrough on the steal there? I couldn't tell who that was. That was a heck of a defensive play, a heck of an effort.
Yeah, I think Bwin, he turned away from the hoop there, which I think was the smart play, but he didn't realize that they were coming right up behind him.
Yeah, instead of attacking there, realize, hey, I pull it out, I can take time off, but then you got to protect that ball. I think either way, you give Wayzata a ton of credit for not giving up here, fighting until the very end, playing hard, and Armstrong, that was great. That might have been Gullickson with the hustle there. Yep. Leading to Benega with the layup. And if you're Armstrong, you got to be proud. You've knocked your free throws down for the most part too, especially here in the second half and down the stretch.
Back in the line for Wayzata, number 12, Trey Lance.
So Armstrong basketball in the backcourt after that made hoop by Wayzata, so they can run the baseline here, as the official explaining to Solomon right now. Wayzata face guarding up front, but keeping somebody back so that they can't just throw over the top. They get it into Larkins, and Lance quickly grabs him and will send him to the free throw line. Everybody has a role, and for Lance, you come in late and you be that quick guy who's trying to D up, and if not, get a foul. And I mean, obviously, he's going to hope to, have a more expanded role next season and all of that. But you appreciate a guy who's coming in and doing what they ask him to do late.
Yeah, that was some good action, I thought, for Armstrong. There's a missed free throw that you need if you're Wayzata. The problem is they're out of timeout, so they got to really push the ball. Yeah, you got to remember, Armstrong has 5 seconds to inbound that ball with Wayzata not able to stop the clock.
Larkins makes 1 out of 2. The lead is 5. And Breitbach will be called for the foul, but they had a foul to give, so that's, I think he knew that obviously there and was willing to do so to disrupt them and also take some time. 6 team fouls, so next one will be bonus, but Heidi will hand it off. Long 3 attempt here is going to sail out of bounds. 0.8 seconds is all that remains, and Armstrong is going to pick up the W here tonight in a good battle against Wayzata.
Yeah, very competitive game, and both teams started out shooting well. Armstrong just continued to shoot well. I thought the entire game, Jay, their shooting was great. Their balance was also excellent, and their defense, I think, won them another game, giving up 61 points to Wayzata, holding them about 10 points under what they average on the season. So defensively, they were very, very solid. They made Wayzata work for every point they got.
Trojans
had a nice game too.
Yeah, they definitely. Trojans, came out intense to begin the second half and briefly took the lead there. And at that point, you might have said, the trend is certainly going their way. Maybe they're going to, kind of pass them by and keep going. But it did not happen that way. Armstrong, pretty experienced team, and they were able to weather the storm and come back. And as you said, make some definitely make enough of their free throws down the stretch to secure a nice victory here. So anyone you can get against a rival or somewhat of a rival and a section opponent like this, and just against another pretty good team, has to make them feel good too. I mean, 17-5, not a bad record at all, considering that they play a pretty tough schedule as well.
I thought a couple of key possessions there were Adam Bwin. You remember when Wayzata was making that run, win ahead, Bwin knocked down a couple of threes there, back-to-back possessions, and that kind of got Armstrong's offense back on track in the second half. Fun game to watch.
Let's go down to Allie now with a couple of happy Falcons.
Yeah, guys, I have Ben-Hur and Hezekiah here. Ben-Hur, the last couple games, you guys have kind of struggled with scoring. You've had a couple low-scoring games. Coach kind of called those a wake-up call for you guys, and boy, did you wake up tonight. You guys were so hot on the perimeter. It seemed like a majority of your points came from the three-point line. How were you guys able to be so efficient there?
Well, start off just shooting with confidence. Coach got us when we were in the locker room. Coach telling us that we got to shoot with confidence, and it'll help us. So that prevailed in the end.
5 points on average for you, 15 tonight. What was the difference for you out here?
Just same thing, shoot with confidence. I hit one early, and then it just rolled down from there, so felt really good about that.
You guys are rounding out the regular season. What do you think is the best thing you guys have going for you at this point?
So far, chemistry, and we're really getting together right now. We've started the season, we've maybe struggled a little bit with chemistry, but now that we're towards the end of the season, we've really started to get we started to do well working together.
It was a very impressive win tonight. Great performance. We're going to bring in Hezekiah here. You know, you were kind of quiet in that first half. Second half, we saw points from you in the paint, from out at the perimeter. What was the difference and what changed for you between halves?
I just got more open shots in the second half. We started to move the ball more so we could create, and I just ended up making my opportunities.
You know, if there's one thing we know about Wayzata, it's like they like to control a fast-paced tempo. You guys kind of kept them at bay throughout the game. How were you able to do that?
We really tried to keep it a half-court game. Just keeping our simple defensive principles really helped with that. And on offense, we tried to get good shots, so we were able to get back on defense.
You guys have just 4 games left in your regular season. Ranked 8th in state still currently. What do you want to see in the final regular season games out of your team?
Just more improvement, more chemistry, just making strides so we can get a good start in sections and win out.
You guys had a great game tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Allie, and congratulations to the Falcons, and thanks to Ben-Hur and Hezekiah for joining us here. So as we said, balanced attack, 17 for Bwin, 15 for Solomon, 13 for Yahweh, and 11 for Breitbach for Armstrong. And on the other side, Harvey, 17 off the bench for Wayzata, 13 for Bjerke, 12 for Benninga, and 10 for Heidi. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's game here from Armstrong High School. For Ryan Iverson, Allie Mosley, and all of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Again, your final is Armstrong 66, Wayzata 61.